There's a lot of really bad information out there about chatting and how to sell content and how to make money on OnlyFans, which comes from chatting, by the way. And there's a lot of myths out there, and I am going to bust those myths right now and tell you what really works for free. Buy my boot camp. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you know, when it's for sale, maybe buy it. I don't know. Up to you. Okay, so myth number one. You can't sell cheap content, otherwise it will cheapen the brand of your model. So I believe this is a myth, and before I tell you why, what I want to make clear is that there's a difference between selling content for a low price and drastically devaluing the content. Well, I guess that's basically what I said. I think it's just misinterpreted, right? I'm not saying you sell fucking 10-minute videos for $8. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it is okay to sell something for $8. It is okay even to sell a few pictures for $8. You can sell, and this is what I tell my chatters. In fact, it's a core part of my training program for my chatters. And this is not just theory. This is not my fucking hypothesis. It actually works. What I tell them, you're talking to a new customer. The first attempted sale that you make must be $5 or less. The reason for that is because you want to condition the sub to buy, right? I've said this so many times, I'm like blue in the fucking face about it. When you send a PPV, what do you want to have happen? You want them to unlock the PPV, right? So what you need to do is you need to train them to unlock every single PPV that you send. Part of that, obviously, is by sending good content for an appropriate price. Now, when they don't know you, when they've never, okay, fine. When they've never bought any content from the model before, and they want more content, or they want to, get a taste, you have to fucking sell it for a cheap price. This is why you see this everywhere, right? You see this. I mean, the example that comes to mind is fucking drug dealers, where they're like the first one's free, where they sell crack, right? But and I guess it's not just crack. I guess it's like other drugs too. Not that I would know. I've never bought drugs or sold drugs or done drugs. Yeah. Anyway, they do this in businesses across the board, and not only that, it's very common for companies to sell. Like let's say there's a subscription service, right? What they'll do, instead of saying free trial for $0, I mean, you have some people that do that. What they'll say is like $1 for a free trial. And what's $1, right? I'll tell you what I don't like about signing up for free trials. What I don't like is pulling my fucking credit card out of my pocket and like having to type in the numbers. That's the annoying part. I don't care about the dollar. I'll pay the fucking dollar. I just don't want to like type in all the numbers of the fucking credit card. Yeah, I know sometimes it's saved in your browser and blah, blah, blah. But like, I guess I could just do that. But anyway, and I guess honestly, like if you do enough online purchases, you remember the number anyway. But still, it's annoying to type it in. Fucking type it on the keypad. It's a 22 seconds of my life I won't get back. But the bottom line is that people who buy something for $1 are more likely to buy more things for more than $1 compared to the guy who has never bought anything for any money. So what you want to do, or what I tell my chatters to do that works for me, is to make as many sales as they can. They can sell the content, not that they can sell it for whatever they want, but what I would prefer, I would much, much, much rather prefer that they make a ton of sales. Make a ton of individual sales for a low price and hit your target that way. I don't fucking care. It's fine. I don't need you to sell a custom for $500 and sell nothing else throughout the day. No, you make 100 sales for $5. I don't give a fuck. What's the difference to me? It doesn't matter to me at all. Plus, I'll tell you that when chatters have lots of sales and they submit their report at the end of the day, and you look at their report and it's like, I make them write every individual sale, the dollar amount. So it's like $5 plus, $5 plus, $15 plus, on and on. All the sales that they made in that shift. I don't care if they made 50 sales. Write out the fucking numbers of all the sales that you made. It's fun. It's fun for them to do. I mean, I don't know if it's fun for them to like go through and do that. It might be a little bit tedious, but I do believe that it is in some way fun for them to reflect on all of the accomplishments that they have made over the course of a day. And the bottom line is that when they make frequent sales, it feels good. It's all those little extra dopamine hits that are going to keep them enjoying their job, which is very important as a chatter. Number 2, second myth, chatters need to work in shifts. That is a myth, in my opinion. It's very common, from what I understand, for agencies, chatting agencies, to assign somebody to accounts for around the clock, right? What I've seen is 8-hour shifts. There's 3 8-hour shifts to cover the 24-hour period. Chatters work at different times, I guess. But I don't think that is necessary. My chatters don't work in shifts. Like your shift is when you're awake. Your shift is when your eyes are open and you're conscious and you're not eating or fucking taking a shit or I don't know. And that's really it, I guess. Or outside and like not near your computer, which you shouldn't be that often anyway, really, if you work for me, because I'm not out there fucking living the dream. I'm fucking working on shit too. Chatter bros, I promise you, stay with me for 5 years. Stay with me for 5 years and you will all be fucking living in mansions, driving fucking Ferraris and shit and like living crazy ass lives. Let's just do 5 years. 5 years. We can grind for 5 years. Why not? It'll be good. I promise you. It won't be a bad 5 years. Are you having a bad time now? I don't think you are. I think you're fucking having a great time. But that said, I mean, it's work, but like you got to do something anyway. All right. Anyway, the point is that I don't believe that chatters need to work in shifts. And the reason that I don't believe that is because I think that when you're limiting their potential, really what it is. People are capable of doing so much more than you believe. They're capable of doing so much more than is commonly asked for them. And not only that, I really honestly believe that the type of person who has the right personality to work as a chatter, those people are like hungering for somebody to impose upon them strict discipline and to have high expectations of them. When I was a little kid, well, okay, I don't need to tell you my fucking life story, but like if you demand a lot from somebody as a man, right? So I also only hire men, so who knows? Well, I will tell you my story. Fuck it. When I was a little kid, one of the reasons why I wanted to join the Marines, I was all about the Marines when I was a little kid, is because I was like, oh my God, if I join the Marines, they'll like put me through this strict discipline and I'll turn into this like super cool and strong and, you know, mentally tough person. And the reason why I'll turn into that person is because they will demand so much of me and I'll have to do all these push-ups and run and they'll be fucking yelling at me. And I know I'm not going to do that shit on my own. And I was also kind of a weak little bitch as a kid too. So I really like hungered for somebody to come in and fucking have that firm hand with me. Nothing against, you know, my parents. They did a good job, I guess, raising me. I will give them that. But anyway, the point is that what I've found works for the chatters who are working for me, all of whom have no experience, who never had any experience before me, and who I demand a lot from, they're all rising to the occasion. However, it does take a specific type of person to rise to the occasion. So if you don't want to find those people and you're like, oh, 8-hour shifts are fine for me, I'll work with idiots, I don't give a fuck, my operation is just so tight that that's fine. Okay, then you don't have to. But I like to bring people onto my team where I'm like, oh, I'm fucking so happy this person is here. It's just easier for me. Myth number 3, subs are just there to bust a nut. So I've said it. Well, let me tell you this. The difference between the model that the sub is talking to on OnlyFans and the millions of free girls that he can see instantly doing anything he can imagine. Anything. Fucking a midget, lesbians, whatever. Use your fucking imagination. There's something for that free out there somewhere that he can find. He's one Google search away from finding it instantly and going and satisfying his carnal desires. So why the fuck would he pay for anything? And I believe the reason is because on platforms like OnlyFans, the sub is able to build an emotional connection, to experience an emotional connection with a girl of his choice. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. But I really do think that is the case. And yes, there is a place, of course, for selling the content to them when they are in the mood, or getting the money from them when they're in the mood. That obviously has its place. But that does not mean that there is no place for building the emotional connection with them. Now, most of the training that I do is about how to build that emotional connection. And it's I have plenty of videos on that, but like, get to know them, ask them questions, build commonalities, blah, blah, blah. It's not that hard. And I think that regardless of how your chat team is doing now, if you do that, then you will make more, period. So like, why wouldn't you do it? You know, they're your chatters anyway. They work for you anyway. So they have to do it because you're going to tell them to do it. It's one of the reasons why, like, I won't work with experienced people. I do not like working with experienced people, because agency owners will sometimes send me a DM on Telegram and they'll be like, oh, like, I was watching your videos and your strategy seems really good, but I have this chatter and it's going to be hard for me to like ask him to do all this extra work. And I'm like, so are you scared of your chatter that he's going to like not be happy with the extra work he has to do? Do you work for him or does he work for you? Like, do you not understand how this is supposed to be? Anyway. Myth number 4. The myth is that it is okay to send PPV in a mass message. Now, I know that there are people who manage to do this, and I guess if you have 60,000 free fans, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard probably to have like intense emotional conversations with them. Although I really kind of would like an account that size. I don't have any accounts that big. I would really like an account that big just so I can put some people on it and see if that would work on there too. Because guaranteed some of those fucking 60,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 or whatever it is, guaranteed some of them are, you know, looking for that as well. They if the subscription was paid, they would have paid for it. So, bottom line, I know that there are some people out there that send PPVs in a mass message. Lucky Duck, I interviewed him. Last I talked to him, which was a couple months ago, he had over 70 models. I'm sure that number is close to 100 now. A lot of what he does, a lot of the money that he brings in is from PPVs sent via mass messages. So there's a way to do it, right? He's a very smart guy, and I'm sure there's people who are way dumber than him who are doing the same thing and making it work. However, I think there's a lot of drawbacks to doing that, spamming out PPVs that are going to ultimately hurt the account. Now, of course, it depends on the girl. Sending a PPV to a specific list of people, I suppose that may be an option. Like one of my chatters, I saw he did this without asking me, and I should have fucking yelled at him, but he's technically kind of one of the managers, so I go a little easier on him because he's not fucking retarded. Not that my other chatters are retarded, but like, he's one of the people who's been consistent and stepped it up, and I decided to reward with some extra responsibility. So those people, you treat them a little differently. Anyway, he had a lot of $3 sales on his report one day. They were like $23 sales, and I'm like, damn, fucking Mr. $3 over here. And he sent me a message and he's like, oh, you know, sir, like, you might be mad, but I actually made a lot of those sales through a mass message. And I mean, I guess I should have been mad, right? But like, he tried something, it worked, he tested it. And now that thing that he tested that worked is going to lead to a lot more money down the line. It may lead to a new technique or a new tactic that we can systematize and we can give to the other chatters so that they can do it too. So, you know, you got to give your fucking manager people like a little bit more leeway to experiment, because they've proven themselves that they fucking know what they're doing and are consistent. Okay. So, I don't think, other than that, for the most part, I know I just fucking spent 5 minutes talking about why what I'm going to say is not true or proving the myth. But I believe that for the most part, most of the time, sending PPVs via mass message is not the way to go. I think that personalized messages, and now the way I do personalized openers is way more different than what I did before. Before, it was just like, write one message about their username and make it, 10 words. 10 words was a lot. Now it's like you have to send minimum of 5 messages in your personalized opener. I have openers, and this is what they do. I have openers and closers now. I'll talk about that in another video. Great fucking choice. But that's how they do it. And I think that because who are you going to send a PPV? Who are you going to send a mass message PPV to anyway? You're going to send it to people that like you've never talked to or that have never bought anything. And you're just like, well, fuck it. Like this guy's never bought anything anyway. I might as well send him a fucking PPV. Maybe he'll unlock it. It's a very lazy way to do things. I don't think it's the right way to go. I think a better way to go would to dig a little bit deeper, put a little effort in. And it's not me who's doing the effort. It's a guy who I'm fucking paying to do it, which is what I don't understand from so many of you guys who run agencies. Like you pay these people to do a job. So, why are you like afraid to ask them to do stuff? The people that work for me, I'm fucking asking them to do shit all the time. I'm asking them to do so much. I'm asking them to do shit nonstop until they tell me like I can't do anymore, or until I observe from their behavior that like something is they're spread too thin, as evidenced by their workload. So I would recommend, instead of sending PPV in a mass message, that you send personalized openers and you try to wake these fans up. Yes, even if there's fucking 20,000 of them. Who the fuck cares? You do what I do. Hire somebody, an opener, pay him, $300-$400 a month, I almost said a week, to send very well thought out, intelligent messages, openers to these people, and see what you can dig up. Myth number 5, chatters cannot share sales or accounts. So everything that I've seen of chatters and chatting agencies and fucking anybody who's ever tried to fucking sell anything on an account, it's very solitary. It's very, you earn what you sold and you're in competition with other people and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. I understand that. When I worked as a salesperson, that's how it was as well most of the time. Occasionally we share sales and stuff like that. Fine. But like what I started doing recently, okay, so I talk about my oldest chatter. I've had him for a while. And I would say probably maybe for the past month, well, like we changed things a week ago and it's been better since then. But for a month before that, his sales started to drop. And when I would check his accounts, I would see just like really fundamentally bad chatting, bad English, mistakes. And I could just tell that things were kind of spiraling out of control. So one day I reviewed his accounts and I just really I just kind of had enough. And the reason I had enough is because the accounts that I was putting him on, well, I know exactly what it was actually. So there was the straw that broke the camel's back was that he violated the terms and conditions on an OnlyFans account and it got the account locked. The account is still locked today. It's been locked since it's been locked over 3 weeks, So like, I hope they fucking unlock it soon. Anyway, so that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So that happened. And then I was like, okay, I need to fucking review this motherfucker's chats. Reviewed his chats and saw very bad chatting. And the guy's been doing this for a year. And I'm like, okay, listen, bro. And he's the only one of the top chatters who's just fucking doing his own thing, not selling according to what I teach now, that all the new chatters are doing. So I told him, I was like, listen, bro, you need to learn the new system and you need to work only according to the new system or I'm going to have to let you go. I don't want to fire him. He brings in money. He does kind of burn the accounts that I put him on, but the money is still there. So in my mind, I was like, all right, well, the money's still coming in. Yes, okay, fine. He burns the accounts, but I got so many fucking accounts anyway, so who cares? Then one got locked, and it was of a girl that I genuinely really like and has been with me for a while, and I don't want her to quit, and I don't want her to fucking suffer in her life because a fucking Filipino person in the Philippines, was lazy or was using bad chatting strategies. So anyway, what I did is I talked to my manager, and I was like, listen, bro, what I want you to do is I want you to spend the next 2 weeks retraining him. And I want you guys to work very closely. Well, actually, what I asked him, to be perfectly honest with you, because I was at my wit's end. I was like, well, I told him that. I was like, I want you to work with him for 2 weeks. You're going to train him, blah, blah, blah. He's going to learn your system and all this. And I was like, do you think that he can do it? Do you think that he has potential? Because if you don't, I will let him go. And I said that because like I was just at my wit's end, you know? And he was like, no, give me a chance. Let me do it. I really like him. We're friends, blah, blah, blah. And thank God he said that because now they're fucking killing it. They're like the dynamic duo. And they are, they're splitting all sales, right? At the end of the day, when I have them write the reports, they both essentially submit an identical report with the total sales split in half. Half goes to one guy, half goes to another guy. Now, before, they were selling $500 each, roughly. The manager was hovering at around 500. The other guy was, more volatile. Like some days above 500, some days below 500. It was much more sporadic. But now it's consistent, and they're both hitting at least 500, sometimes at least 750. Today, they both did 1,000. But between the two of them, they sold $2,000. So the level of cooperation between them is leading to something that is causing both of them to do better. The synergistic effect of what they're doing is causing them to both increase, their output. And to be fair, I have openers working for them, selling or doing, sending personalized openers to fucking. That's their job. They each of them today they only did 270 each. I think they coordinated with each other, so like one wouldn't do more than the other. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, you guys want to play that game? Well, guess what? Tomorrow you're both doing 350. And from now on, you're both doing 350 openers. So this is not fucking, one of you is not going to do less because the other guy couldn't do it. It's not how this works. Openers are doing a good job. I will say that. They're helping the closers. They're facilitating, additional work. So maybe was 350 too much? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they do tomorrow. But anyway, the point is that ever since I put both of them on, ever since I made the manager like retrain this guy and they're working together and they're splitting everything, it's working really well. Like on the one hand, I mean, let's just talk about the money. They're making more money, both of them, between the two of them. I'm hoping it'll stay consistent. Who knows? But the reason why I'm hopeful that it will stay consistent is because they are working according to what I taught, which the manager has gotten really fucking good at. So now I'm thinking, well, what if we did that on more accounts, right? What if the other manager who's working with the other good salesperson and they have their own opener and all that, what if we did something similar for them? Would that work for them as well? Because, there's one salesperson who does better numbers than the other. But if they kind of combine their strategies, if I have one train the other or mix it up somehow so that they're both working harder for the other person, then I think that would also work very well on those accounts too. So we'll see. Anyway, the bottom line is that you could potentially, and this requires trust, right? This and my team, they're all new people. I brought them in all from nothing. I don't like working with people that have experience. I don't trust people that have experience. I want a brand new team that I fucking bring off the street and train from scratch. So I don't know. Do you have experienced people? Have they been with you since the beginning? Are you going to go out and hire a brand new team of new people to do this? I don't know. Probably not. But I am definitely going to fucking do it because it's fucking working. Cool. So those are the 5 biggest myths about chatting and what really works. What do you think about that? Let me know. Like the video, drop me a comment, and I will see you in the next one.